What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, and welcome to our usual Friday live stream. So glad that you guys can make it every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Today, it's just going to be me, yours truly, answering all your app marketing questions. I like to do this now and then to really make sure I'm providing value to you guys. I love talking to guests because it helps me learn, but also I want to answer all your questions that you have. So I said, send me an email, leave a comment below, tweet at me. I know I get some Instagram DMs with some questions too, but I'm going to try to go through all of it and I'm going to try to prioritize those who actually showed up live and who've got questions below. So I want to say hi to a few people. What's up, Danny? Make apps with Danny. Great YouTube channel. I checked it out when I saw you comment. David's here. We've got Mary here too. Good to see you, Mary. I was wondering, I was thinking about you this morning. I was like, I wonder if Mary's going to show up. Miguel's here. What's up, Miguel? Ali, good to see you. Marwan, we're going to take a look at your app, Marwan. So good to see you here. Ronnie's here. Okay, you got a question already. I love it. And then we've got Musa Turan from LinkedIn. All right. Siddharth as well. Awesome. And then Evrim is here too. Awesome. Luis. All right, cool. I love this. I love this. So I want to start off because Jeff sent me an email. If you're on our newsletter, you got an email. It's just hit reply. And so Jeff sent an email and said, question for live stream. We've never been able to rank at all on Google Play, while on the App Store, we do get some organic traffic. How would you go about approaching this? Kickstart the ASO process with Google Ads? So the short answer is yes, Jeff. Obviously, if all things equal, and I'll just pull up my screen because I like visuals. So I'll pick on, whoops, my bad. So we're going to take a look at Azaz app. This is Azaz app. Jeff, obviously, if all things equal, meaning you've got the right keywords in your title. I'm going to assume that, right? And you've got the short description with those keywords too, and you're still not ranking for it. There's a couple of options. Run Google Ads, right? And then in the Google Ads, lead your title, have that main keyword. I'm going to assume it's your highest traffic keyword anyways. Have that main keyword in there. What we've seen with Google UAC campaigns is if you do ASO research and you find, let me try to give you an example. Let's say meditation, right? So if you have meditation in the title, so like best meditation for anxiety, right? Or something like that, that headline will get the most impression. Why? Because it has the keyword that has the highest search volume, right? Instead of pace breathing or deep breathing, that headline will not get as much impressions as the ones that have meditation in there. And so I would try to have that main match your headline of your Google ad with the title, the keywords that you're using in your app title. And then secondly, another strategy, look, for me, ASO is so hard these days that sometimes it's better to just find a lower competition keyword, right? So on Google Play, we've been doing some analysis for some clients, and I'm seeing that, hey, there's some keywords with pretty decent traffic and lower competition. And so maybe even start going after that, because you said in your email at all, right? Like you said, no organic traffic at all. So try to go after lower competition keywords. If you're going to use an ASO tool that I think has the most Google Play accuracy, it's going to be App Radar. I found that their search score and their difficulty score are pretty accurate for Google Play. And so check out App Radar and then just filter out which ones are the lowest competition, right? So hope that answers your question. If I didn't, you're not here, so I don't know. All right. Let me look in the comments. Oh, lots of comments coming in. I love it, man. Thank you guys. Cool. I love this. Abdul, what's up, Masood? Listening in the background. We've got Jay's here. Good to see you. Kim. All right. What up, PJ? What up, Luis? Good to see you. Hola. And Ali, dude, I'm so happy to see your community grow. You've come so far. Thanks, Ali. It's been a lot of years. It's still grinding, bro. All right. Let's get into some of the questions here. Peter, good to see you here. All right. Ibo-chan, I'm going to assume that. Should we make an exact match Apple Search Ads campaign for our primary keywords, even if you're already ranking well for them? Now, I don't think he responded, or he or she didn't respond back, but what I would say is yes, if you're outside the top 3. So I asked, what do you mean by ranking well? I found if you're ranking number 1, you're probably paying for traffic you would have already gotten, right? And you won't see an improvement in actual like ROI. You'll just, I mean, like revenues, because you're just bidding on terms that you would have already, otherwise people would have downloaded your app. And so this is for like brand campaigns, right? Like you think about Headspace, you think about Calm, you think about somebody, what's a better one? Let me look at my app. Wordscapes possibly, right? They're like sort of brand, they're doing some brand protection. But I found that it's just a waste of money, in my opinion, right? So let the other people go after it. You focus on keywords that are outside of the top 3. And that's been our approach moving forward, because as we find more and more data, as we get more and more data, we'll find that, look, you're just paying for traffic that you would have already gotten. So from a revenue perspective, we saw this with one of our apps. We were spending $2,000-$3,000 on Apple search ads, and we didn't actually see an improvement in revenues at all. We didn't out $3,000 more revenues. So we were bidding on terms that we're already ranking pretty well on, like the top 3. So find the keywords that you're outside of the top 3 and then go after that. The other thing I would say with Apple search ads is the competitor branded terms, ASO, not that effective, but on Apple search ads, pretty darn effective for that one. Okay. All right. Round 2. What's the next question? Alibon says, how do we track what keywords are actually generating revenue from Apple search ads, especially in discovery campaigns? Will an MMP do this? So 2-part question, right? Keywords generating downloads revenue. So you don't need an MMP. I know Revenue Cat has this data. App HUD, HUD has this data. So especially if you're already integrated with Revenue Cat, they are a sponsor of ours. And so we're going to be doing some video content with them soon. But they got a new paywall feature. So make sure you guys check that out as well, where they can build a feature, but really great way to manage your in-app subscriptions. So if you're running Apple search ads, actually Revenue Cat will tell you the keyword revenues, the revenues by keyword. The discovery campaign, I believe, know whether it's an MMP or Revenue Cat, you won't get that data, right? So unfortunately, you're just going to have to look at Apple search ads, and then there's a keyword tab within Apple search ads, so you can see what keywords are actually driving the downloads, and then you sort of guess, right? And so that's why personally I like to break out my broad and discovery, which is a search match campaign turned on. So I have a broad match, which has all our keywords that we're targeting on broad match, and that version as negatives, search match turned off. And then I have a search match campaign where I can then have that. So at least you can see which campaign of these discovery campaigns are performing the best. Hope that answers your question. 1 point for me. All right, let's get into MW says FB ads. Okay, 2 years after iOS 14, app tracking transparency restrictions. What do you find works best to track purchase conversions? Scan, EM aggregated, event measurement, something else? Look, MW, I'm not a huge expert in this. What I've heard from others is scan works the best, generally speaking. And so I'm reluctant to speak on this, but I would say scan. What I will speak on that I feel pretty confidently on is that you want to set campaigns to go after installs first. So the higher top of the funnel. And as you get smarter, then you want to go down. But I would probably lean towards scan versus some of the other stuff right now. And I also think it depends on your spend, right? Because I think for me, what I'm finding on Facebook ads is a lot of people will tell you broad targeting, right? And I think that's the case if you're spending a lot of money. And that means like, I would say above $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Now, if you're underneath that spend, what we found to be more effective, especially from like post-install events, is going after interest-based targeting. Now, until I'm proven wrong, but I'm looking at the data, and the data says my interest-based targeting ad group is outperforming the broad-based ad group with the same creatives. And so I think it depends, to answer your question, scan, but then for everybody else, there's the longer answer. All right. I'm going to give myself that on that one. All right. Wasim says, please suggest a keyword research tool which can also provide data of competitors as well. What do you mean by data of competitors? Like, what else are you looking for? Because if I think I know what you're looking for, what we found is App Tweak has the best type of stuff. Like you can add your competitors, you can see rankings of your competitors and all that stuff. And so I think App Tweak is pretty darn good when it comes to that. Look, I love all the ASO tools. All right. We almost use and pay for all of them. But so that's why we have some insight on certain tools are great for this, certain tools for great for that. But if you're talking about like how well your competitors are ranking for the same keywords, Wasim, then I would say look at App Tweak. Okay, cool. Mary, I need your help. All right, Ronnie, I don't even know where all the questions are. So I'm trying to get to all of them as best I can. Ronnie says, for a term I'm ranking in, there are other apps that rank higher despite not being updated in years, less than 10 reviews that don't have the term in their title. Like, what do I do? Okay. So, Ronnie, there's a couple of options, right? Number one, if that's the case, you should be number one, and it shouldn't be hard for you to get to number one. So, we're doing the ASO workshop. I might delay the actual like liveness of the workshop, but anyways, we're doing a live ASO workshop essentially to break down all these different type of campaigns, Ronnie. And essentially what I'll be sharing is these instant campaigns, keyword install campaigns. So if you're that keyword in your app, you have it in the title, but nobody else has it in the title and they're above you, one quick instant campaign should get you there. Now, legal disclosure, run at your own risk. Don't come. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just telling you. I'm not suggesting you do any of this stuff. Okay. So don't want you to get in trouble for this. If you want to do it the white hat way, then I would say start bidding on Apple search ads aggressively for that term, because then you're essentially hacking the algorithm the same way. So I'm doing some quick tests. I don't have enough data for part 2 of that answer. I don't have enough data yet, but that's what we're trying to do with another client is we're not indexed at all for this keyword. We want to be indexed. And so, because then I can do some magic after we get some index. But right now we're aggressively running Apple search ads campaign. And we did this for another client. We jumped in the rankings pretty aggressively. And it was their brand, by the way. And so we were able to jump pretty quickly from like 40s or 50s all the way to number 4 for a keyword, just running Apple search ads and being aggressive with bidding on that term. Okay. So that's one way to do it. All right. Or says, any new tactics for iOS specifically, preferably new ones? That's such a general question. Or, all right. Well, I did get a comment in the YouTube channels. Let me look up what I want to give a shout out to this person too. Looking through my comments real quick. All right. That really makes my. Okay, I can't remember the person's name, but I will say what they said was like for new ideas, focus. Oh yeah, Vlad. Vlad said, "Dude, you must do more episodes like this." He's talking with the episode I did with Ariel and said, "Focus on people who want to start with app ideas and development, not just new app ideas." So new tactics, or broadly speaking, I would say into the new ideas to Vlad. The question that I would say, how do I answer that would be, so a couple of new tactics. Okay. One, from an ASO perspective, I'm just pretty much going all in on the keywords. So meaning if I find a keyword that I want to really rank for, and we have some data on this, and I'll show you guys this, just what's been happening. Here, let me do this. Let me pull up some slides. Because I love visuals. Who wants to see this face? Maybe my wife, maybe my mom. All day long. So I'm going to pull some visuals for you guys. All right. So here's what's working. All right. Here's one of our apps. I'm not sharing the app, but I'll show you the value of one, which can work. Now, the app's been out for a couple of years, pretty much do downloads. I find the right keyword and I'll show you these tactics. And I went all in on that keyword. So like whatever, if it's a meditation, I'll just call it the meditation app, right? Or meditation app. And that, lose all the brand. So that's what we did. We found the keyword. We're like, oh, no one's paying attention to this keyword. Let's go all in on that keyword and let's just rebrand the entire app and call it by that keyword. And, doing some magic here, I was able to get number 1 pretty easily. And now we're getting, about 50 to 60 downloads, certain days we're able to get 200 downloads, but now we're getting downloads. We're doing something right with this app. And look at this. Now, within the last month, we've made over $800, and that we're not even done with the full month. That shows you, hey, look, it's been doing nothing for so long, but just one simple change. And now I'm like thinking through, and somebody else said this wants access to the spreadsheet. So unfortunately, I won't give it to you unless you're in the academy, because I spent time putting this together. So I apologize to you. Well, I don't apologize. I did the work, bro. You just trying to get it for free. But here, this is the spreadsheet I look at, right? So this revenue per download. And now I'm like, oh, wow, we're now getting downloads. Great, right? Like we've solved the download problem. That's the hardest problem from an ASO perspective. Now it's time to, we're only charging $20 a month. So let's just assume we get about, just for math's sake, 3,000 downloads. We're getting 10% conversion. This is pretty solid at 40%, right? Or 30, let's just say 35%. Maybe this is actually 8%. Whoops, sorry. Okay. And so we should be close, right? Like I've done 800 in about 2 weeks. So we should be up about 2,000. Now I know that these numbers, okay, cool. Now let's improve the paywall. There's no reason why we can't be at like 15%. All right. It can stay at 40%. And let's now build new features, because it's a simple app right now. Let's build new features where I feel like we can charge about $30. You see, same downloads, optimizing the onboarding and paywall, and adding new features now. Now that I have downloads, I solved that problem. Now I add new features that I feel like can get me to that $30 mark, and I'm able to pretty much double my revenues. So that's how I start thinking about it on my end. What's the sorry. Or that's how I start thinking of it, right? So go all in. The other strategy that I'm starting to think about is, and let me finish this thought. To find these new keywords, it's really the tool that I love to use the most is AppFollow. And I use it for free, but you can put any keyword or in here, and then you hit this tiny little icon. So what I'll try to do is pick a keyword camera that's already shown and try to find one that doesn't, I don't feel like belongs, meaning they don't have as much reviews as some of the ones that they're outranking, right? So like, I know maybe they're running a lot of UA and maybe that's why they're ranking higher. So there's a lot of factors into it, but I'm going to try to pick one like maybe this one. Now, obviously this one, camera, that's ranking number 15 for camera, calls the app camera. So that helps with the ASO, right? Exact match type of thing. And then I hit the little eye icon. And what AppFollow will do is use the ASA, Apple Search Ads plugin, and come up with some keywords for you. Now, as long as the keywords have around a search popularity score of 30, that's enough for you to get enough downloads. This app that we're ranking number 1 on now, you know, it does have a search volume of around 30 or 40, right? And now it's driving downloads organically for free. So that's how we've been able to find a lot of these keywords and then use them into radar, the difficulty score, and all that jazz. But that's the best way to find keywords. The last thing I'll say is we've been focused more on just like SEO stuff too. And so SEO and SEM, I know Martin talked about it in a previous live stream a couple of weeks ago where they were using SEM, and you know, I kind of pulled up the slides while he was talking, but essentially like think about maybe using SEM traffic. So that's Google AdWords traffic, sending them to a landing page, and then that landing page takes them to the App Store. And we found that what I hear right now, we're testing this new strategy. What I hear is that the cost per click on Google AdWords sometimes be lower than the Apple search ads cost per tap, right? So if all things equal, search intent is the best intent, possibly you'll see better and higher ROI on Google SEM versus Apple ASA. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Danny, what are your thoughts on adding Apple and Google sign-up buttons? Are they essential today? And do they impact the number of sign-ups as opposed to email and password? Yeah, Danny, they do. I feel like it's a must. Here's the data I have from past guests of mine. So don't blame me if this data is wrong, okay? Blame Leah. She said that about 95% of Android users use that Google sign up button. And then about 90% of iOS users use the Apple sign in button. Now, what I would also say is I don't have enough data, but I feel anecdotally speaking that saying continue with Apple or continue with Google or continue with Facebook is a lot better than sign in with Apple or sign in with Facebook. To me, my personal opinion right now, without any data, is that continue sounds better versus like sign in feels like it's a chore. So that's the psychology aspect of it. I did talk to some clients. They're like, yeah, we did test this and we did see better results with continue with. So test that. All right, break time. Game Chan, what's up? Good to see you. And then Mary's got a question. Marchi, okay, or Marcin. I know Marcin. I think I know Marcin. Okay, I think I know you, Marcin. Okay, cool. Incur, not invite. Okay, I don't know what that means. Sorry, Kim. Hey, Parish. Cool. And then Ronnie said, is ranking 50 for a keyword essentially same as not ranking at all? Okay, I got some more questions. All right, man, there's a lot of questions. Thanks, guys. Woof. Oh, man, there's a lot of comments. Help me. Okay. Louis said, I just localized my app in 5 different popular languages. What should my approach be for the keywords in the non-English localization? Should I use English keywords or translate them? Luis, this is a hard question to answer, broadly speaking. Here's how I like to do. This is how I always say, what do the numbers say? That's it, right? If the numbers say your primary market is in the US, then yes, it should be in the English. When we're working with clients, we're like, are you getting downloads in, let's say, France? French is one of the, or Vietnamese. Okay, that's a great one. Are you getting downloads there? Do you think that there's going to be revenue possibility? If not, instead of using Vietnamese, put English in there to help your US App Store rankings. Now, if it's France and you're like, hey, France is a big market and I want to go after that market, then be like, okay, localize it for that market. You don't need to help the US. The US has 9 different localizations, 10 if you count US English, but 9. So it's like, we're just using like really Spanish, Mexico, and Vietnamese, and maybe some Arabic, but those are the 3 that we're using: US, Spanish, Mexico, and Vietnamese, because we just feel like these are not big markets for most of our clients, and the rest we're not even kind of leveraging. And so we are about to do this for one of our clients, but that's how we start approaching it. Let the data speak for itself. If you've got good downloads and possible revenue possibilities in these markets, we'll keep them in their localized. The preferred way is to keep them in their localized language versus having them in English. But if they don't, then put English to help your US App Store rankings. Hope that works. Another point for me. All right, Mary says, what's up, Mary? Hi, Steve. How would you approach a niche influencer for an app like mine? Remember, names can be targeted to sales influencers, audience. Thanks. Mary, I think depends how big the influencer is. So if it's a niche influencer with a big following, one, maybe give them a code that they can send out, right? So tell me if you're still going to do paid or not, but tell them maybe you can send out a code that gives them like 50% off. So maybe charge an extorted amount, right, Mary? Like charge you $10. And then you say, hey, this influencer, you got this code, your influencers, your audience can save 50% off. And then you can track the sales on that. The way that we've done this in the past, especially for indies, we did a video a long time ago. So if you just YouTube search on our channel, like affiliate marketing for indie devs, you'll find Dan said this. He did this pretty well, and he's got a great app, a marriage app. And I forget the name of the marriage app, but essentially, Mary, he was using micro influencers, niche influencers with podcasts, and they were doing affiliate deals. And so he would pay them on every sale that they brought in. And usually podcasters and like bloggers, they understand affiliate marketing. So it's an easier sell and an easier buy-in for them. And that's how he was doing it. So check out that video, but that's how I would do it. All right. You guys gotta tell me if I don't answer your questions, okay? Like scream. Kim, hi, Steve. For keyword stuffing in ASO, what is the penalty one? Oh, that's what you said. One might incur from Apple. Also, what's the fine line before getting in trouble? Keyword stuffing, Kim, I don't think it works anymore. And so, but we are testing it, right? Back in the day when I first started in like 2013, I started in 2011, but back in like 2015 range and 13 range, people were keyword stuffing. The titles could be 256 characters. And so repeating that keyword helped the organic rankings. Now, I like to retest theories that didn't work anymore. So I would be careful with the stuffing. And I don't know what you mean by stuffing. Maybe you're talking about Google Play, but on iOS, it's a little bit harder to stuff. But we are testing duplicating a title once again, just to see if it might work again. So, but with keyword stuffing, if you're talking about Google Play, be careful with the keyword density on the long description, do some analysis. What we found on our end, this is shout out to my team, Rafoth, and she was telling me that look, if you have too high of a keyword density for your primary keyword, that could actually hurt you. So we are testing for one client, like minimizing, lowering that keyword density to about 5 to 6% of the long description and see what the impact is. Because when we looked at the competitors, they were around 5 to 6% and they were outranking us for that keyword, even though we had more downloads. Okay. There you go. Man, this is good. We might not get to the app audits. I really appreciate everybody's here. This is probably one of our highest intended or attended live streams. All right. Akshay says, hey, Steve, I'm working on a bingo real money app. Congrats, my friend. Point to you. Majority of my traffic comes from Iron Source and Unity. How do I improve my organic installs? Akshay, so congrats to you, man. Bingo is obviously a very, 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 very competitive keyword. Now, in the ASO workshop, I'm going to break down some of those organic strategies for you. What I would do is focus more on the long tail keyword of bingo because it's so competitive. Like focus on the long tail because guess what? I bet you all your competitors are focused on just bingo itself, right? Or bingo bullets, their brand. So one, obviously, I hope you have bingo and you're calling it bingo extravaganza, something like that. And then what I would do is here we go. Go back to my trusty app follow, actually, and then click on this again. So I might try to find something else. You see this exact match. That's what interesting. Let me just pick this. So win real cash, okay? Or it might be this one. All right, let's go into bingo. So again, I need to pull the data. What I don't have right now is the difficulty scores, right? But bingo cash might be interesting. Bingo, okay, you want to stay away from the branded ones. So Blitz and Clash, I'll stay away from. Blackout bingo, branded. Like bingo games for free bingo games, bingo game for cash, bingo cash, win real money. I don't know if that's branded or not, but this is what I'm talking about is like, okay, so let's just call it bingo for real money. Let's go bingo for cash. So now I'm like, okay, this has enough search traffic, right? 30. That's good. Or bingo games for free. So pay attention to this. Bingo games for free. Let's see. I have no idea what's going to happen. Bingo games for free. Okay. Good traffic scores. I'm going to hit X on this so you can see the results. We got bingo blitz, bingo tour, bingo clash. Okay. Just for bingo. Bingo games for free. Let's see if it changes the results. There you go. Hey, bingo, bingo rush. Absolute. Damn, I'm good. Give this boy a point. Okay. Give him another one. So actually, this is what I'm talking about, right? That this is the long tail. It has traffic. The other guys were just focused on the other keywords. And so this one has traffic. Bingo games for free. Now, do some optimization, do some interesting things that you found through the internet. Try not to take responsibility for all these like sort of black hat, gray hat campaigns. But that's how I start doing it, right? Like, look, and I've seen this work with other apps. It's like the free version of that keyword phrase is completely ignored, or they're ranking well for the free version. And then we help them get to a pretty high ranking for the normal version. I start with that. And then as long as there's volume, work your way up, because then you should start to see, now it doesn't always happen, but you should start to see your bingo ranking start to improve as bingo games for free starts improving too. Man, all this great stuff for free, huh? I should have a little tip jar somewhere. All right. Kim says, what is the best bang for your buck for CPI? Facebook, X, Talk. Kim, you're getting all the things wrong. TikTok, etc. Kim, it is so app dependent. It is insane. Okay. Because listen, some apps do really well on Facebook. Some apps do really well on Apple search ads. Some apps really do well. I've heard it all. So unfortunately, I can't tell you which one's best for your app. All I can say is ASA tends to be the best ROI because it has the highest intent. So I would start with ASA and even SEM because it's easy. All you need is keywords. That's pretty much it, right? So it has the best intent, it has the best ROI across multiple platforms. Just start with that and then figure out what's next. But it really shifts depending on the app itself in terms of CPI. So, all right. Or says app tweak is best overall. All right, or David says I have a language learning app that in 7 months the organic downloads dramatically decreased from 5,000 daily downloads. Damn, David, 5,000, that's amazing. To 400 daily. The main sources were Google Play Explorer. Yeah, any suggestions? So, David, that's just like, I'm sorry to hear that. It's an algorithm update, right? Like that's what I would term it as. If I don't know your app, like with the Explorer, I've seen this with other apps because Google Play is starting to change a lot of the way they show their search results. So with Explore, like the things I would be focusing on is what we've seen work. Now I don't know if you'll ever get back to 5,000, okay? But we've seen worked in the past is assuming that you have $5,000, you should have this Google Play. I share this on LinkedIn, but in app, they're called promotional. What does Google Play call it? Promotional content. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to leave the question up. So apologize. It's cutting out most of it. What if I change it like this? That doesn't look good either. Or does it? You guys tell me. Okay, there's this promotional content. It's essentially in-app events. Not every app developer has it on Google Play, but I think if you have 1 million plus downloads, you should have that. Start leveraging that and then put video on there. We have seen video start in Google Explore. That video on Google Play, like here, needs to be on YouTube. And then within the YouTube keyword field, you start putting a lot of your competitors, because I believe a lot of the Explore downloads are coming from this area right here, the what you might also like, right? And features and stuff like that. But usually it comes from this and the features. So look at if you were featured anywhere too, and maybe the features brought it down. Right. Sorry, bro. Emmy said +1 for Dave's question. Marcin said, thank you for the answer. So I hope that worked. All right, I'll be Sean. Should we keep auto match enabled on broad match campaigns? So that's search match. And I would say no. Have a separate campaign for search match only. So that search match campaign has one ad group, no keywords, all the keywords that you have in your exact match campaign as negatives on exact match, and just run that by itself. So no keywords in that campaign. All right. Peter says, what is the best no code app, mobile app builder? Peter, I'm going to stay away from it. I've heard Bumble. I've heard, Bumble. Bubble. What, right? I've heard that, and I've heard other ones. So I have no idea. I've obviously never used any of them, but I have no idea. So that's how I would frame it. All right, Jay said, what works well in UAC campaigns? Writing headlines with ASO keywords or writing proper marketing content to app. Keyword relevant to app. Jay, what we found in my experience, okay, and what I'm trying to say is go ask other people. But what I found is that having keywords in there helps a lot more. All the impressions that we're seeing for our clients, we were running about 5, just to give you guys some insight, it's about 5 to 10 grand on Google ads for one of our clients. And the number one impression one, and the one that drives most of the impressions and costs and all that stuff and good results, is the one that has the right keywords with search volume in there, right? So obviously search volume shows you an idea of what people are looking for and how you can match it up with. So Google has the algorithm, right? Like they're matching, oh, people are actually searching for this keyword a lot. Oh, you have it in your title. Let me just match it all together. So try to weave it in, whether it's in your description. I know if your title, it's only 30 characters. So like, okay, maybe you lose out of characters, but you lose out on, I think it's 30, right? The headline, it's either 30 or 50, but like you get it in, fit as much as you can, because I lose the brand too. We don't even have the brand in the title of our Google ads. So lose the brand and then also have it in there. One other trick that I also learned from another person is naming the ad groups instead of ad group 1, which is the default naming the ad groups by your target market. And so that's what we've also tried to do. I don't think it's going to move the needle, but heck, very easy to do. Luke says, what is your best black hat trick? For free, Luke? Get the out of here. Look, I do know that instant campaigns, these keyword install campaigns do work. Again, not suggesting you guys to go about doing this. If you get in trouble, don't come looking at me. But I do know that they do work, and I do know that a lot of big companies are doing it. So I can give you that. I won't tell you the source, so don't ask. I have to keep certain things private. What I've been trying to say lately is like our proprietary software and strategies. All right. Akshay says, what tool would you recommend for push notifications? Main issue is that I got a lot of installs for one of the dating apps I'm working on, but I need the users to register. So obviously you can do normal push notifications. Like I think they're called, I forgot what they're called, but they're like embedded in the app. So you can just do that, Akshay, because then you can program it. If you want more flexibility, I've heard a lot of great things about a lot of different companies. And so obviously Braze, Clever Tab, they get expensive, but those allow you to segment your users, time it properly, and then you as a marketer can go in and figure out what the push notifications are. But if you want a cheaper option, Firebase is just as good. And just like I guess they're called local push notifications that are already embedded into the app as well. All right. Can you can you recommend a vendor for keyword install campaigns? What's ASA? I don't know, Eric. What do you mean by when you put ASA? But a vendor for keyword install campaigns, like Cat I've been talking about, the answer is no. I'm keeping that private. I don't need everybody doing this. All right. All right. But if you want an ASA thing, like how to help, I can help you answer that question. Kim says, I have a happy hour app. Oh, cool. It's good and bad, very niche. Most keywords are very low in popularity. How do I overcome that? So, Kim, here's my philosophy now moving forward. If that is the case, if there's not a lot of search volume for your primary keyword, I would then run TikTok and Facebook ads. Now, the value of like Facebook and TikTok ads running these paid marketing campaigns, this like, what's the right word, marketing word for this? But I guess they're like push campaigns because you're like trying to push your messaging onto people who are not. Where as a search campaign, like ASO and Apple Search, it's more of a pull campaign. You're like, they're looking for it and you're pulling them closer to you, right? The push campaigns help with that because what we found is when you're running Apple Search ads, when you're running these ads, a lot of ads, guess what happens to the search volume for these keywords? Goes up, right? And so that's how you sort of start doing this. So we've seen this with like mostly with branded keywords and also some generic keywords too. But their search, if you usually the search traffic score does not go up and down all that much, doesn't fluctuate like the stock market, right? It usually is just pretty steady. But with certain ones, and I've seen ads, I'm like, yo, they're running a lot of ads. And when I do the ASO keyword research, you can see that keyword generic term go up. So that's how you have to start playing around with it. For an happy hour app, for niche type of keywords, I'll give you one more thing. If your happy hour is very good in a specific location, let's just pick LA or Philadelphia or I don't know, New York, right? Go after the sports terms, the sports teams of those cities, right? So when I'll just pick on New York Giants, right? So these keywords, these sports teams tend to have pretty decent traffic and lower competition. And so you can see like Stick War Legacy. How the heck are they showing up, right, for this keyword? So maybe going after those keywords in your Spanish Mexico title, you call it New York Giants or, Happy Hour for New York Giants or HH for New York Giants fans, something like that. You can weave that in and try to get it higher rankings because you're really only competing with like maybe a couple of apps and just start, researching which cities have the best, whether it's Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Rams, Dodgers, Chargers, you have a lot. And then which apps don't have so much competition. Giants might not be good because obviously you have 5, 6 that you have to deal with, but maybe some other teams don't have that great. Or maybe New Orleans Saints, they just played last night. So go after the cities too. There you go. You got Saints, and then NFL. So yeah, there you go. It's probably better because less competition here. Okay. Leonardo says, guys, I'm tired. All right. Leonardo says, how do you approach ASO in markets that Apple doesn't provide popularity score? Brazil, for example. Great question, Leonardo. And I would probably, so one, they do provide the popularity score because we are doing Brazil. but maybe we're not doing the right market. So, one, look at Google. There tends to be overlap with mobile, web search versus an app store search. So, what's trending on the mobile usually is pretty much the same on iOS. So think about ways where you can leverage like SEM tools like Hrefs to then get some data in the Brazilian market, or like literally go into the autofill. I'm going to assume Leonardo, you're in Brazil, but like meditation app, right? So if I'm on Google and I'm going here and I'm just putting meditation, these are the keywords that autofill. And the autofill generally shows you some insight into what actually has some search volume. And then what I found with other countries is usually the US is a good indicator of how much search volume. And I know in a different language, so keep that in mind. But like US is usually an indicator of how much search volume is. And what we found in maybe even in Canada and the UK and Australia is the obvious terms are the ones that have search traffic. So for example, with meditation, I've been saying like go after deep breathing or pace breathing, right? It's a niche keyword, start there, downloads first, and then move up to meditation. And so with Portuguese, you're going to find that the obvious keywords are going to be the ones that have the traffic, and the long tail ones just won't have as much traffic, because we've even seen it in English speaking countries where in the UK, there's just not that much volume for these niche keywords that there is in the US. All right. No, David, no, I'm saying no more. No. Can you share the spreadsheet with all your fancy stuff? You know what, David? No. Become, I don't know, go into the academy. Here, this is the cool spreadsheet. I have a bunch of crap in here. The answer is no. Get out of here. All right. Ronnie. Like, David's like, I'm leaving this thing then. Ronnie says, for an iOS app, how important are the primary and secondary categories you list your app under? I don't think they're any important. Okay. We've done this test. Now, the only time it might be important, Ronnie, I don't think it changes anything. I like to, focus on things that are actually going to make an impact, because people ask me these random questions. I'm like, yo, you thinking too hard. You thinking, thinking too much about this. Look, the only time it might change is, I can't even pull it here. Let me pull it in the actual app store. So hold on, back to my face. How you doing? All right, now back to the thing. All right, the only time I'm gonna try to pick an app. Let's try to pick this one. Okay, the only time it might make a difference is right here, the social proof that you might want. Right, this is 11 under health and fitness, so maybe it can be one under, I don't know, utility or productivity or reference. Right, a lower difficulty category. So this is the only one where it really matters, like when you're seeing the chart. So I think like, now again, I don't have enough data to say it moved the needle, right? But we did do this for another client. They're like, hey, should we move over to this other category? And I was like, looking at the downloads, so using Sensor Tower data, I was looking at the downloads of the top apps that showed up under this category. And I was like, well, look, given our downloads that we have, I think if you move over, you'll be like top 2 or 3 or 4 under that, or 11, right? Under that category, whereas you're like 200 under productivity. And so they made the change. I don't think we saw like a huge impact on downloads, but it looks cooler. Like you're number 11 in health and fitness versus 200 under productivity. So that's the only time where I feel like maybe there's a case to be made to do that. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Ali says, I couldn't agree more. The download problem is much harder than the purchase problem. From my experience, once a user downloads your app, it's only half as difficult to get them to buy anything. Agreed. Solve the download problem first. Abu Chan, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Let's see if we have time for the app audits. If we don't, I'll just push it back. All right, Abu Chan, sorry, Marwan. Does it make sense to switch from a keyword-centric title like meditation sounds to be a branded name? Yes, I would do that, especially if you're trying to. I'm going to try to answer these questions late. Adrian, welcome. You're late. Leonardo said, our app has very few downloads and a terrible Apple Store. Sorry, let me rephrase. I was just listening. Leonardo says, our app has very few downloads and a terrible App Store install conversion. What approaches do you recommend to improve spending without spending in Apple search ads. Okay, Leonardo, without knowing so much about your app. So if your thing is horrible, there's a couple of things I would start testing. One, do you have the right title? Because people focus on the title. So I'm just going to pick on affirmations, this I am app. Right here. So is the title there? Because does it match what I'm searching for? Bada bing, right? If it does, great. Focus on your icon. Now, I don't always test these things because I don't feel like sometimes they don't. Sometimes they help and sometimes they don't. It's like I want to focus on the things that I know are going to definitely help. Next thing would be then the screenshot. Your first screenshot should have your primary keyword. It only makes sense. I search for affirmations. I see get daily affirmations. Boom. Hey, you have exactly what I'm looking for. You're searching for app marketing. Guess who shows up? Me. I got exactly what you're looking for. So make sure your first screenshot has exactly what they're searching for. We did this A/B test with the client, a bigger client of ours, and we saw that leading instead of being like calm stress, feel better, sleep better, focus more, blah 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 blah. We just said dot. Like, hey, we help you. We do this, right? We do deep breathing very well, and then 30% increase in downloads without any ASO changes. So make sure your first screenshot has that. I like to always have that second screenshot having some social proof, and then third screenshot something that people really love about your app. What makes you really different, right? So I'm like, it's sort of like here, first screenshot, what you are in the right place. Remind them you're in the right place. Have that main keyword. Hey, you can trust us. Some social proof. Third, surprise them. So, be clear, social proof, and surprise them with something that they might be like, oh, what? You have that? Or something unique, because the first three screenshots are what shows up. These are bad examples in the search results. Right? See, like feel better with mantra. I bet you, like feel better with daily affirmations would outperform feel better with mantra. Let's take the bit. Okay. Abichan, how does an MMP do that GA or analytics do? Oh, okay. What does an MMP do that GA4 or other analytics doesn't do? So a lot. Abichan, MMP really comes into play when you're trying to find the effectiveness of a particular channel. So unless I'm wrong about this, but like if you're running Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and I think somebody was running Iron Source and all that stuff, MMP will tell you the effectiveness of these particular campaigns. And depending on the ad network, they'll tell you on a like almost an ad set level, like how well your ad is performing, right? And with GA4, when you talk about analytics, that's the same. So like when they're in the app, if you don't care where they came from, well, GA4 is good enough, right? Firebase. So they're two different things. They're not the same thing as what you're thinking. MMP more important when you're thinking about like, hey, you're trying to signal to like Facebook or TikTok, especially TikTok, right? Because they don't have you need an MMP to run on TikTok, but you're trying to signal to them, hey, find me installs. Now that I'm ready to scale, go find me people who are likely to purchase. And that's where you need an MMP to help you with that. Andre says, what about AI apps? Too late? No, my friend. Not too late. I'm really focused on helping this client. We've been working together for 2+ years, and he's got an AI related app. We've been able to take it, get organic downloads. We're doing phenomenally. We just helped him get to #1 for another keyword. So it's about keyword research. The hardest part of any app industry right now is, unless you're willing to spend money on paid marketing, it's finding the right keywords that you can get free organic downloads for. So for the bigger startups or the VC funded, you got nothing to worry about. Run some paid ads, do Apple search ads, do what you need to do. You'll be fine. For us indies out there who might want free traffic, then it's just finding the right keywords. And so if you can find the right keywords, you can make a huge difference. And this is the example that I have of, a keyword, finding the right keyword right here, right? And just getting the downloads. So once I got the downloads, again, it was doing nothing for like years. Find the right keyword, gone. All right. I'm proud of it. It's like the most proud $800 I've been, to this day. Okay. With this year. All right. I know 800 is not that much, but I'm just like, finally seeing zero for so long. Anything was great for me. And now I'm enthused. Like now I'm like, oh, let's add more features. Let's do more. Let's do more of this. All right. Luis says, I prefer to log in, register with Google or any social media button. It's faster, more convenient than thinking about a password. So that's for you, Danny. Danny says, do you have any tips for increasing downloads for the desktop versions of the app, which are not app stores, but download via the website? SEM, Danny, SEM. It's that simple. And that just means search engine marketing. For those aren't familiar, I used to run SEM for Walmart.com 20 years ago. Damn, I'm old. All right. It's crazy to think. 43 now. It's like crazy to think. All right. Uh, so, Danny, I don't know what kind of app you have, but let's just put, I don't know. Give me the keyword. I'm going to put podcast app. Sorry, Martin. I apologize. Okay. Only because you shared this publicly, my friend. So I search for that. I have this tool called Keyword Surfer. I can see that there's about 33,000 searches a month for this term, right? Let me see if there's any ads I can find. I don't have any ad blocker blocked on. Does this help? Does this change anything? Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe that's not the right keyword to bid on. But there, you can run some ads, and then you can take them to your website and then just sell them on it. So it's worked for others. Like I know a friend of mine who teaches people how to play piano. He does Google AdWords, and he takes them to a website, and then they buy a course. So SEM, tried and true, long strategy. That even like if you with toys, I guess. Yeah, you see all these ads here. What's a good keyword? Oh, I know. Ab workout app. This should get me something. Dang, no ads? Is it just because of this? I don't know why I'm not seeing any ads. Okay. Anyways, SEM. Luis says, hello, Steve. Hola, Luis. I know Luca. Sorry. I don't know why I said Luis. Think about the other Luis. All right. Lucas says, I'm from Brazil. We don't talk about apps here. We don't talk about apps here. Almost no reference. Is it good to market? Hold on. Is it good to market to even with lots of people? Okay. So Lucas says he's from Brazil. They don't talk about apps too much. Is it a good market to even get into because people have a hard time getting out famous? Luca, it is, man. Like we have run campaigns in Brazil, more on the Android side of things, but we've seen good results in terms of cost per acquisition. Not so great to like, monetization, all that stuff. But I think Brazil is one of the trendy markets that's coming up. And it's definitely a market that we've seen really good results in with other apps. So I would say, yeah, man, like maybe you need to talk to more people. Surround yourself with the right people, man. Because you're here. This is all we do. We talk about apps. So yeah. Mary, LOL, you need a moderator. I know, Mary, come on, help me. Kim says, for keyword stuffing, what is the penalty from Apple? What is the fine line and how does Apple determine yea or nay? Apple doesn't determine anything, really, Kim. So Apple just says, they'll just, they don't really do anything. I don't think they're going to be like, so if you're trying to like leverage iPhone in the title or subtitle, all that stuff, that's where they'll have issues with. But if you're just trying to put meditation, they might just be like, Kim, bad idea, slap you on the wrist. But they're not going to like penalize you in any other way. So I would say don't do it. You don't need to do it. But if you really want to, you'll be okay. Apple's pretty generous with their penalties. They just kind of slap you on the wrist unless you do it too many times. So yeah. All right. Actually is back. All right. Covered your stuff. Actually, rewind, bro. You're on LinkedIn now. You got. Hi, Steve. Any problems with repeating keywords across, not within the various US localizations? Yeah. So, Adrian, what we are doing now is title and subtitle. I feel like right now, this is just my hypothesis, are the most important. I know they're the most important, but I'm going on in terms of all these other localizations. Let me pull up a slide. And you know what? I'm just going to make the executive call right now. We're going to push back the app audits because we're just getting so many questions. And maybe I just need to do more of these. I honestly had no expectations and I wasn't sure if I'd get any questions because I was like stressed before, not stressed. I was a little concerned before the call, before the live stream. I was like, am I going to get any questions? Because I better find some just in case I get none. But thank you guys for having all these questions. Okay, let me pull up the slide because I like visuals. All right, here's the 10 localizations that we've seen. This is what Adrian's talking about. So should you repeat? Now here's what we've seen. Now this is a little bit dated in terms of the years, but repeating keywords. So as you can see, this is horrible ASO. I'm not going after sleep sounds anymore. Okay, by the way, but I have sleep sounds in the US subtitle, and then I have it by itself in the Spanish Mexico title. Now, what I should do is, because we're starting to actually rank well for background noise, I would probably just rename this background noise app, and then go after different keywords in the title. So I've seen that repeating it does work, and we think that the title is the most important. And so for running any type of incent campaigns, we want to make sure we focus those keywords on the ones that are in the title. And we actually seen one keyword, we got another app into the #1 position just by having it in the US subtitle. And that's because nobody had it anywhere, right? Like everybody was ignoring this keyword. So we were able to get to #1 pretty quickly. All right. But yeah, repeat the title, move it up is what I'm trying to say. Like if it's in the subtitle somewhere, put it in the title another place. Okay. Nurek says, hi, Steve. Hi, Nurex. How are you, bro? I'm good. How are you, bro? With organic, how much revenue can we expect from super competitive projects such as fitness app? Oh, I don't know what you mean by that, Nurex, but it's just a math equation. And so that's how I frame it. If you here's what I know, right? Here's what I know. I know that if you have at least 100 downloads a day, you can have a 6-figure business. Now, what that really depends on, Nurex, is a couple of factors, which I don't know if I have from you. But look, going back to my handy dandy spreadsheet, like how many downloads do you have? Like this is how I'd like to talk to clients. What are you at? And I kind of do this. And I'm like, look, this is where I'm at with one of our apps, right? I'm like, look, sometimes I'll talk to clients that have like way more downloads than me, but they only charge 20,000. I'm like, like I almost make just as, this is probably the wrong number, but let's just put like 15,000. Like, hey, I almost make as much, I make more than you, and yet you get, 5 times as much traffic as I do. Why? Because you can only charge $20 for this. So Nurex, for a fitness app, you can probably charge a good amount, right? Like $99 is not unheard of for a yearly. So you don't need that many downloads. So now you can just say, like, can I just get aim for 1,000 or 2,000 downloads? Okay, cool. And I should probably convert around 8%. This will probably be around 30 if I'm being safe with it. It's like, okay, well, I probably need, now to get 10-figure business, I need 4,000 downloads organically. So that's how I start framing it, right? And that's how you just break it down with numbers and numbers. Holy crap, we have a celebrity. Sarah's here. Oh my God, Sarah. Good to see you from Life Lapse. And then Ali says, this is why you need more videos like this. Founder needs serious help with marketing, so it's a hot topic. I know for me it is. Thank you, Ali. Honestly, I will do more of this based off this interaction that I'm getting. And then I'm going to ask Mary to come along and help me moderate. All right. Proth says, Steve, tell us more about ASO Workshop and how we can join. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a good URL for this, but I'll post it in there. But it's just, if you're on our email list, you'll find it. I guess we've done a horrible thing. What I'm probably going to do, essentially what this is, Proth, is we're going to update our Ad Masters Academy with new ASO content. And so for me to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, we're kind of doing do it live as a paid workshop and then just refresh the content on the academy. So if you just join the academy, so if you go to appmasters.com/academy, you can join there and you'll get the workshop essentially. All right. Leonardo says, our app follow popularity score reliable from territories that don't provide the popularity score? Yeah, I think so. They've been pretty reliable from what I can see. You should add a tip jar feature. Yeah, I feel silly though, but maybe. All right, Akshay says, I'm working on dating. Okay, we already answered that question. Jeez. All right, let's end it with, oh my God. Okay, Samuel is going to be the last one. Steve is GOAT. Okay, that would be the first one, the last one. Okay, I'm going to try to get to the rest of this because I do have to jump to my next call. Akshay says, what strategy do you use to get them to register? What push? I already answered that. Abhi-chan, is it worth A/B testing app icons and screenshots on App Store? Have you seen any significant results? Absolutely. I can't share the data because I don't have permission from the client, but absolutely. The icon test, have the keyword in the icon. Vlad, no, sorry if I screwed up your name, but from CoinStats, he came on and he said, look, we added Bitcoin to the icon and we saw an improvement to our downloads by just doing that. So here, again, with visuals, I'll show you guys this. So he had a Bitcoin. He saw an improvement. Like I said, with the screenshots, I kind of guided you guys to what is the best. What we found is leading with the main keyword, having some social proof, and then kind of going into like what makes you different, right? A little bit. That one of the screenshots should just be like, oh, this is what makes you different. So not just like simpler, okay? Not just fast. Be specific. Like we have this specific feature that you wouldn't have expected us to have, right? So wow them, surprise them with something. That's how I would do it. But yes, it is worth doing. It might be after you get downloads though. Again, like focus on the most important thing, downloads. If you have that, then start testing everything else later on. All right. Sarah says, I think this is Sarah. So Sarah, apologize if it's one of your team members. I've tried all the no code tools. Have never figured it out though. Yeah. Feel the same way. Okay. Eric says, oh, to answer your question, Apple search ads, what keyword tool? Wait, did I just get $10 from somebody? That's so funny. I didn't even know how you guys did that. Okay. I appreciate it though. the, Eric says Apple search ads. So Eric, what I use is at follow. So I use that to find all the keywords because again, like if I'm a crypto portfolio, I'll click this little eye icon and what at follow, once it works, it does clunk out once in a while, but it's free. Okay. So don't complain. But what they do is they give you all the keywords and the popularity score. So that gives you the base to start off with and with Apple search ads. It's pulling Apple search ads keyword data, but unlike Apple search ads where they just have like 3 blue dots, they do have the popularity score. See right here. Oh, thank you. I follow, love you. So now you have like all these other ones you can go after. And we actually seen this work too, like having non-English keywords. I think this is Chinese, but like putting Chinese into this keyword, this Chinese keyword into a search ads campaign does actually work, right? So you can start to see, and I would have never known about these keywords if not for AppFollow. So shout out to you, AppFollow. Okay. How do we track ROI from ASA? Is it possible? Best I can tell. Abu Chan, where the hell you been? Revenue Cat. It has all that data. All right, go check them out. Done. Let's move on. Kim says, thanks for what you do, Steve. Thank you, Kim, for joining. Jay, thank you. Appreciate you. Give me a break. I'm taking a break from my voice. I'm like, I have hot water here that I need a little bit here. George, any trick in regarding A/B testing the moment for asking for a review? Yeah, George, what we found is just asking for it up front center actually is working for most of our clients. So like I'm not doing it, but like the people that have reported back to me are like saying, yes, it does work. So here, so you guys know what I'm talking about. So George, here's a couple of things. If you're starting to see negative reviews come in, you know, we are seeing this with one of our apps because we're making money now and people are like so used to it being free. So that's one of the reasons you should not like undercharge because people get pissed when you do charge. You're like, man, but I'm making money, but it's like we're getting 1-star reviews. So you can do the aggressive way, right? It's asking for reviews like Genie, literally the second one. This is working for other clients. Now, the other thing you can do is gate it. Now, Apple has problems with this, so be careful, aka remote config. But what you can do is, so this is the chill way, right? You wait until after the paywall, and we've seen really good results with that. But what you can also do is gate it and be like, hey, do you love us? If they say yes, then you ask for the review. If they say no, you take them to the review or an email form. Abi Chen says, I'm joining the academy ASAP. Yeah, I think it's a great look. We got a great community there. A lot of people in the community are in the comments. It's a great community. I learn a lot of stuff. As much as I'm sharing, I learn a lot of stuff from the academy. I'm just gonna do a plug. There is a plan that allows you to have coaching calls with me. And so for those who can't afford or don't want my help, in terms of our team and executing for you guys, if you just want the insights and you want to know how to do it yourself, that's what the academy is all about at masters.com/academy. You can find it is a subscription base. So this is just gets you to the access to the courses along with our Slack community and our monthly mastermind session. So this is a hangout kind of like this where we're going to do this. And then this one comes with more just calls. So I give you a free 1 hour app audit, 1 hour consultation, and then a 20-minute coaching call every month. that you can talk to me about. So pretty cool. I think it's a pretty damn good deal. You could do yearly or quarterly, up to you guys, but I think it's a pretty damn good deal. All right, Ryan Bias. Leonardo says, if a category is important as a search term, would you include it in the app metadata? If you if you're talking about like productivity, right? That's the I don't think so until you prove me wrong. I mean, maybe if you so Leonardo, I say if you're a big app and I'm like, yo, let's put this. And we work with big apps too, right? We're not just working with tiny ones. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it, right? Productivity, let's go. Let's do it. You got 30,000 reviews, you got 18,000 right here. Let's do it. Let's go after this, right? Let's go after this. But if you don't, then what's the point? Like, you're never going to rank for it. And it's not going to really help that much in terms of anything else. So I would say not worth it if you're tiny. If you're big and you already have pretty damn good organic rankings like this one, like, right, maybe like Focus Keeper, productivity, I know has really high search volume. So maybe now it's like, all right, in the Spanish Mexico title, we're going to put productivity because we don't want to lose ranking for productivity timer, which they might be number one, productive timer, right? So that's how I would start doing it. Okie doke. Let's go to the next one. David, looking at my time. Does overpricing ASA on a specific keyword help? I want to be number one. I'm currently in fourth position. So, you know what, David? I would do both. I think we've worked together before. Okay, I would do both. I would do a little bit of keyword incent, and then I would try to push it because it's not the ASA is not going to help you push it to number one. What we've found is sometimes the data will change. If you try to make more money from the app, it'll also help. What I would also do, David, is do in-app events, right? And have the main keyword. I don't, we were doing this and we were able to get a client from 2 to 1 by having the in-app event and doing a little bit of incent traffic at the same time. So the in-app event has the main keywords in the title, and so does the incent campaign. We're going after that. So everything's in the title, right? And that we've seen that work pretty well. So test that out. All right. Mark, live. Oh, Mark, dude, my app just came out. I'm early. Sorry, Mark. I know you put it on LinkedIn. I apologize, man. Hey, Steve, my app just came out and I'm struggling with early downloads. I think the keywords are too vague. Curious if I should fine tune. App is Tidby. Yeah, Tidby daily news summary. Yeah, Mark. So, okay, daily news summaries. Perfect. News is super competitive, Mark. So again, I might just try to find, you got to try to find really interesting keywords. So I'm going to come in here, my handy dandy app follow tool. I'm going to try to find a keyword that is not from these major news sources, right? And see if there's anything that I can learn from. Yeah, it's going to be really hard for you, bro. I think you need other things. I'm trying to find the right app to hit the icon on, but definitely not Apple News. Let's go into Newsbreak. I know local news might be more interesting, right? Or even trying to find a website that has local news, but you know, they don't have an app for it. So you have to get really creative. Meditation use is a very tough categories to find any type of keyword traffic, organic traffic. So yeah, man, sorry. It's very hard. I don't know if I can help you with all that. All right. Oh, he says you look 25. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I should go to college, Ollie. We should go to university together and see how many people still think I'm 25. All right. Lumila, first screenshot should have the keyword. Does this make sense also when using organic, not just search ads? Should you repeat the title? Yes. So, Ludmilla, I think I said that right. This is the A/B test we did with the client. I can't share the screenshots because I'm afraid I didn't get permission from the client. But we went from here. I'll say it for you guys. All right. Here's what the first screenshot said. First screenshot said, calm anxiety and feel better. It had app of the day, all that stuff. Okay. The other screenshot, the A/B test, said calm anxiety with meditation, as an example. Okay. It still had editor's choice, app of the day, no screens of the app anymore. And we saw 30% improvement in organic downloads by A/B testing that. So if you want to A/B test that within App Store Connect, it's called product page optimization. How are we getting more viewers? It's like an hour in, we're still getting more viewers. Okay. Mark says I could still be too early, but one and two. Yeah, Mark, go at it, man. Here, I mean, if there's any inspiration, is this like it was in here for the longest time, nothing. Just keep looking at keywords all day. I mean, obviously, I have an agency, so like it's easier. We're looking at keywords literally all day. But if you find the right keyword, you do your magic, it can work. And so went from like literally 1 to 2, 3 downloads a day to now like boom. And now it's finally some revenue. Now it's like finally, right? Like, it's just momentum. I feel like business is all about momentum. Finding the first momentum is all you need. Now I'm like super excited again and going all, like thinking about this keyword. So, or this app again. All right. See, Sarah says, who is it? Leonardo? Luca? Sarah says, Brazil is our biggest market outside of North America. There you go, my friend. That's all you need. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your insights. Okay. Hello, how do I find an app idea? Look, do keyword research, build the app based off the keyword, right? That's literally what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to show within the Apple workshop, the ASO workshop is how do you find these keywords? What do they need to be traffic wise? How do you get them to be number one? So I don't care what my idea is, right? I care about what are people searching for and then building for that because I'm cheap. I want free downloads. I want to print money. I want to actually do anything for money. This $800, I didn't have to do anything. I just changed the ASO. Well, I did run some campaigns. I spent $100, just so you know, some inset campaigns. But now it's like, okay, I'm net positive 70 after Apple's take two. But anyways, that's what I want. I want apps where I just sits there and makes money, right? I don't have to look at my ad campaign, come up with new ads, all that stuff. I just want to sit there and make money so I can play pickleball all day. That's what I'm trying to get to. Okay. When should you switch from a keyword rich title to a brand title? What scenario? Great question. I feel like when you've set yourself up at different phases. So I don't know what that number is. For me, that number is about $5,000 to $10,000. Once I'm at that level, I'm like, cool, could I start building a branded keyword? Because all the biggest brands, they have two things. They rank organically for generic terms, pretty good, but they also rank pretty well in their search volume for their branded terms. And so once you hit a certain level, maybe think about, and especially if you're going to run paid marketing, because once you hit a certain level, maybe now you're like, hey, I can run some paid marketing now, and I can run some Facebook ads. And what Facebook ads allow you to do, what I said before, was it improves the search traffic score of your branded keywords. That there's reasons why you might want to do Facebook ads. Chan says, Steve is the GOAT. Appreciate you. All right. Hey, Steve, may I know where to find AI API resource to build AI-based app? I'm very interested. Jay, I have no idea, bro. But I've talked to a friend, somebody I met at an event, and he was like, look, just Google. All right. Google. Fahim, you're late. Sam says, I love the Q&A. Great. Mary says she will help moderate. Thank you. Hi, Sarah. Mary here. And then, all right, who's the last one? Man, there's still. Okay, thanks, Mary. Appreciate you, man. You didn't need to do that, but I do appreciate it. All right. Man, guys. Okay. I want to answer everybody's question, but like I gotta go too. Luca says, start an app with low code tool. Is it a good thing or should I stay away from it? Luca, like I said, it's all about momentum, bro. I started off my journey back in 2011 when you were just a baby, Luca, just doing, it wasn't a no code, but it was called Corona, bad naming, especially these days, but it was built off of a language, Lua, JavaScript, that I could understand. So whatever gets you going, bro, I don't like to think about the engine underneath it, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever gets you going as an entrepreneur, as whatever your end goal is, get the ball moving. Stop deliberating. Because I tried to learn iOS and Objective-C at the time. Couldn't learn it. I was like, what the hell is all this? I'm not that big of a nerd, right? And so Corona, Lua, I went to a meetup in San Jose, and I brought my brother-in-law, and we went, and I was like, dude, I know that. I can do that coding. That coding is easy. I bought one of their, it was a free, they had free templates, right? Guides within their platform. I used that template to then, I modified it because the code was already there. I modified it because that's easier, right? Modified the code to make a flashcard app. It was a photo gallery app that I turned into a flashcard app. And that started my journey. And fast forward, 13 years later, I'm here and you're with me. And I know Luca, right? Because of that one thing that started it all. Obviously, look, here's my philosophy on life. Starting is, I call it easy. Starting is easy. So don't get caught up in how to get started. It's the continuing that is the hardest, because you have once you start, we built this app. We were pretty damn excited. The starting, you're the most excited. But once you hit a roadblock, you have what it takes to continue, right? That is the key. So don't worry about the start. Just get going, bro. Thanks, Mary. Super jar. All right. I think that's it. I think we're good. There's a lot more. Oh man, a lot more. All right, that is it, my friends. Ali says at Masters Discord Slack, there is, but it's all paid, Ollie. So apologize. All right. Everybody else, I apologize. I can't get to everybody's question. I got to run. I would spend all day with you. This has been enlightening. I do appreciate all the questions that you guys sent your way. Let's see, Mary. Okay. Thank you, Mary. I just want to say, since she's a friend, I want to make sure if she had any personal questions, I answered her. All right, guys. I apologize if I didn't get to your question. I will do more of this given the amount of people that are here and the people that have showed up and all the freaking questions that we got. Very shocking and very humbling, to say the least. I appreciate you guys. I will try to get to most of the questions, and I'll do more of these maybe once a month. I don't know what the right cadence is going to be, but maybe just definitely once a month I'll put that in there. I wanted to dress up as Ken, but wasn't that close to Halloween. Mary, you got to come up for our Halloween party, by the way. Okay. Next week, we're going to talk to somebody from a great app called super.com. Yeah, super.com. And so they've got a lot of great insights. They've grown tremendously. And we're going to talk about how do you take an app, like a super app, start with the niche first. Right? They've already raised some VC funding and all that stuff. How you start with the niche first and then still build a super app. So really great insight, because that's what I've been saying all along. Start with the niche. You can always level up, but everybody starts at the very top, and then they're all battling. That's everybody that, right? But if you in the niche, you level up, and that's what I would do as well. Guys, thank you. Have a great weekend. I really do appreciate it. I couldn't even get to any of the jokes or app audits. So to the app audits, Marwan, I know you're here. Azaz, I apologize. We will get to them next week. I promise. All right. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys next month when it's just you and me once again. All right. Bye now.